Today we have Stephanie Kirves, who is an actress, screenwriter, producer, and has many other talents. You have an award-winning screenplay that is Parallel Lives. And I think you're looking to do a proof of concept.
Yes, right as we speak, I am casting and crewing up for my proof of concept shoot for Parallel Lives. It'll be about a 10-minute short, which is basically the opening to my feature. And basically it centers around these two main characters. Sam, she's 19 and she's been in this abusive relationship. She's at a mental hospital healing her wounds. And Alan, he's early 30s, a failed writer, and he has his own demons as well. But there are also alternate versions of them. Sam has this doppelganger named Ava, who was the love of Alan's life. And Alan has this doppelganger named Danny, who is Sam's abuser. So when they meet at the end of the short and they see each other, he breaks into like tears of joy and she screams. And that's where we ended off. And the feature really delves into their relationships and their alters and why they have them in their lives, so to say.
Yeah, yeah.
You don't really know what's real, what's a dream, if they're crazy, if they're sane, because it takes place in a mental hospital. So everything is really open to your own judgment and interpretation.
Okay. And how did, when you won that award, you were still in school?
I was still in college, yes.
Okay, and tell us, what was the feeling like when, obviously you're in school and you're actually already in a professional world winning an award. What was that like? How did that make you feel?
It was very exciting. It was good to finally have acknowledgement that I was actually a good writer, because up until then I never really submitted things. I kind of kept my works to myself. And my works, they're very meaningful. They come from the heart. I'm not going to write something just to write it. I have to write something because I really, really want to. It needs to get put out on the page. There's passion behind it. And I think that's what really speaks from my work.
Well, that's great. I think the topic of mental health is very good.
Mental health kind of pervades everything I do. Even though this novel is more environmental, it has to come in because that's a big part of my life and what I stand for. I think since COVID hit, a lot of people really understand depression and anxiety, because when we were all isolated for those 2 weeks, those 2 months, everyone really came to understand what it feels like to have those ailments, even if it was just for a short time. So we're a lot more open and accepting of people who struggle with that, but we're still really have a lot of stigma against conditions like schizophrenia or bipolar disorder, which in my novel I kind of explore all of these different illnesses. A lot of it takes place in a group inpatient therapy session, and all the patients kind of tell their story, and they all have these different battles, mental health battles they're dealing with.
Right.
So I think it's cool that every illness gets to tell its story.
Right. That's great. That's great.